CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. For our viewers in the Windsor area, you are seeing our London newscast tonight because of technical issues. We begin at London City Hall, where for the second time in a month, the Planning Committee pushed back against a developer's high-rise plan in an existing neighborhood. Daryl Newcomb has more on the resident response and whether that's gaining influence over City Hall decisions.
The plan is not compatible with the existing surrounding neighborhood.
At this week's Planning Committee meeting, neighbors were opposed to rezoning 119 to 127 Center Street to permit a 10-story, 156-unit apartment building. City staff had recommended the rezoning be refused because it represents over-intensification, and Ward Councillor Skylar Frank agreed.
I have generally supported developments that create that density and those infill opportunities, but that doesn't mean that we support every single proposal that goes forward.
The property is essentially on the boundary of two very distinct neighborhoods. To the south and east, high-density apartments and townhouses, and to the west, single-family homes.
I think that this neighborhood and area has already had an incredible amount of intensification, and I appreciate now how the cumulative changes are impacting the residents.
Earlier this month, City Council denied a planning application for a 4-story long-term care home on Bluegrass Drive. Both that project and Center Street faced organized neighborhood opposition.
In my 4 years as the ward councillor, this application has been the one that I've received the most communication on.
Ultimately, the Planning Committee voted against recommending the high-rise on Center Street. Afterwards, Councillor Steve Lehman said while the opinion of neighbors is one factor he considers during contentious rezoning applications, he also considers information from staff reports as well as communication from the developer.
I weigh each one on the merits of each individual case. I don't have a blanket statement for or against. I look very closely at each individual case.
Lehman doesn't believe there's a recent trend by the Planning Committee towards giving in to the loudest neighborhood voices.
This is a challenging committee because we have to hold the greater need for housing up against, various concerns where people don't like to see change in their neighborhood.
Council will make a final decision about the rezoning on Center Street on June 2nd. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Tenants are moving into a new affordable housing project built in London's Soho neighborhood. It offers below-market units close to the downtown core. With more on its potential impact, here's Lauren Stallone.
A new affordable housing project has opened in London's Soho neighborhood.
We worked with 5 other nonprofits and developed this whole block of land.
Located at 385 Hill Street, the building features 77 units offering studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments.
I wanted to live here. It was close to work for me and then still kind of connected to the downtown, which is nice. I like to spend some time down there, whether it be outdoors on a patio. So it kind of kept me connected to there while still being reasonably priced.
Organizers say this project represents an important step forward for affordable housing in our community.
Housing is becoming a critical issue for so many people as cost of living went up, but wages have not gone up.
River Ridge is part of Village Soho, a partnership by 6 nonprofit housing providers to create almost 700 mixed affordable units on the former hospital lands, aimed at helping people in need.
The need for helping people who are struggling, whether they're young or middle-aged or even old, has become more and more evident in the last 50 years.
Rent's kind of a tricky spot for a lot of people, so I just try my best to save and budget, and this building's very accommodating, so that helps for a big time.
The London Affordable Housing Foundation, formed in 2000, is a non-profit charity that funnels donations directly into local housing projects.
It's going to be a challenge to keep rents as affordable as possible. That's a very slippery term, affordable. But we think we can make it work.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
London police say they've made an arrest after a stabbing attack in the city's North End last weekend. According to police, officers were called to a residence near Fanshawe Park Road and Hyde Park Road early Saturday morning. They say an argument had turned violent as people were leaving the home and the homeowner was stabbed. Police say the victim has serious injuries but will recover. A 20-year-old man was arrested nearby, now charged with aggravated assault. Sarnia's mayor says new provincial rules for removing municipal councillors who commit serious conduct violations won't work as intended. Mike Bradley has been pushing the government for action, but he says the legislation presented is flawed. Sean Irvin reports.
Municipal councillors province-wide will soon have a mechanism to turf one of their own for serious conduct violations, but it won't be easy. Doing so will require the review of a local and provincial integrity commissioner, along with the unanimous support of a local council. Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley calls the entire concept a weak first step.
The general idea behind this legislation is good. It's good. However, the execution is not going to work.
Through letter-writing campaigns, Bradley has pushed for almost a year, demanding enhanced abilities to remove badly behaving councillors. He says what the province has come up with falls short.
You need a simple majority, because I can guarantee you, and I believe it would happen in Sarnia, that if there was a move to remove someone, there would be obstructionists. The last 4 years, we've had one individual who has hijacked every meeting.
Bradley is referring to Councillor Bill Dennis, who has been banned from taking part in person in Sarnia City Council meetings after an investigation found he violated harassment and violence policies. Most recently, he's also been accused of offensive commentary towards local Indigenous groups. Bradley says it's Dennis's efforts to hijack council meetings that drove him to get the province to act. Yet Dennis, who is running for mayor of Sarnia in the next election, dubs Bradley a hypocrite, while at the same time also acknowledging his own ability to stir the pot.
I'm disappointed that they didn't name the bill after me.
Dennis is not a fan of Bill 9 as presented, but believes it's a better alternative than what Bradley has proposed.
And I'm glad it has to be unanimous. I don't think it would have been right to have some body that's not connected to the community make this decision.
Dennis contends he would never vote to remove a colleague from council, even one he opposes politically, unless criminal activity was involved. Meanwhile, Bradley says the province has failed to give local politicians the tools they need to head off a wave of radical change.
I'm seeing this sort of right-wing extreme groups coming out trying to take over local councils. And I think that's going to get worse as we head into this election.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Sarnia's Police Services Board is changing direction when it comes to legal costs for the city's police chief. Board members initially indicated they would cover expenses for a civil suit filed by the chief. They've now stated no public funds will be used. Jerry Dewan reports.
The shift comes after the board reviewed the employment agreement with the chief and determined it does not cover legal fees for lawsuits initiated by him. The board faced criticism for using public money to fund the suit. The board now says the contract terms strictly limit indemnification to instances where the chief is named as a defendant for action taken in his official capacity. They describe the lawsuit as entirely personal. Earlier this year, Chief Davis launched a $1.5 million civil action against the Sarnia Journal, its parent company, and majority owner Nathan Calhoun. The suit alleges defamation stemming from articles published about a consulting business operated by Davis and the hiring of his business partner by the police service. In a separate matter, the Police Services Board has retained an employment law firm from Toronto to complete an independent workplace investigation concerning Chief Davis. In mid-May, the board announced it had initiated an investigation following a workplace harassment complaint filed against Davis. At that time, the board said the chief was suspended with pay pending the outcome of that investigation. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Members of the public were able to weigh in today on a controversial housing project in Woodstock. Oxford County councillors have decided to turn the community's former YMCA into a homeless shelter. As Brian Bicknell reports, it's a plan generating plenty of debate.
It is people falling through the cracks over and over again until there was nowhere left to fall. I have watched my son struggle in ways that I would never wish on another family.
An emotional self-disclosure for Tracy Sherman. The Woodstock mother told Oxford County Council of her family's struggles with a son who has schizophrenia and lives on the street.
This new building gives me hope because people need more than a temporary place to sleep. They need stability, they need dignity, they need safety.
She was one of several people who spoke at Wednesday's council meeting about news that became public last week. Last month, council approved the purchase of the former Woodstock Y building on Dundas Street to be redeveloped into a homelessness support center. The decision taking place behind closed doors, a move that didn't sit well with some residents.
I can't believe I'm standing up here to be against this.
Yep.
Your process of how you've run this behind closed doors and to find out through a leaked media report is where we're standing today. It's ridiculous. Every county person should be embarrassed at how that happened.
There are people who are unrepresented here today that we shouldn't forget, and that's people who are sleeping under tarps tonight, people who slept in tents last night in parks. And there are businesses that came to open up their business this morning and had somebody in their doorway and they couldn't open up their business because there was somebody sleeping in the doorway and they had to phone the police.
Council supported a motion by Councillor Deb Tate to hold a public input meeting for the Homelessness Support Centre before the end of July.
It's not debating the homeless centre. There was no input from anybody other than around this table of that location.
Also today, County Council voted in favor of sole sourcing the architectural design work for the new Homelessness Support Centre at a cost of up to $250,000. That work to be done in parallel with the public input process. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Woodstock.
Gas prices are expected to drop by tomorrow morning. Industry analysts say at midnight tonight they could fall as much as 10 cents a litre. That would put Ontario's average price for regular fuel at about $1.74 a litre. That comes on the heels of falling oil prices, which have dropped about $10 a barrel in the last week. A London-based test pilot school is shifting part of its operations to Northern Ontario. Company leaders say they need more space to meet growing demand. With more on why North Bay was the right location for that expansion, here's Eric Tashner.
The Jack Garland Airport will soon be home to 6 of these M346 T-Block 20 fighter jets after the International Test Pilot School inked a deal with aerospace defense company Leonardo. The planes were ordered to train fighter jet pilots in North Bay as the school moves its London-based tactical training center to the city.
We see this as a natural fit for the community to bring fighter pilot training back to North Bay.
Leonardo is an Italian company that provides jet aircraft to train fighter jet pilots for NATO and other allies. The contract includes the 6 aircraft, which are expected to enter service in 2029, with an option for 6 more if needed. Last October, the International Test Pilots School conducted an airborne evaluation of the jets north of the Ottawa airport.
It aligns very closely with our mission at ITPS Canada, which is to enhance global security through innovative aerospace solutions.
Described as state-of-the-art and cutting-edge, over 160 of these jets have been sold to air forces in Europe and around the world as countries train pilots.
We talk about it being a 5th-gen fighter pilot training pipeline. So the graduates from our lead-in fighter training courses will then go on to a frontline fighter, be it F-35, F-16 or F-18.
The aircraft has logged more than 160,000 hours in flight. 20 countries, including Canada, use these jets both militarily and for training.
They do go hand in hand in positioning Canada for defending its sovereignty.
Meaning their loud engine roars will soon be heard as they zoom across the skies of Northern Ontario. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
More than 1,000 high school athletes from across the province are at Western University this week competing in the Special Olympics. Brent Lail has more from the opening ceremony.
With pomp and circumstance, Special Olympians from around the province entered the opening ceremonies at Western University. hosted by the London Police Service. More than 1,000 high school-aged athletes are here, competing in multiple sports.
I can honestly say there is something very, very special about the energy these games bring to community. When you watch these athletes compete, you are reminded of what truly, truly matters. You see courage, you see determination, you see joy, you see people lifting each other up and celebrating one another.
The athletes are participating in floorball, bocce, track and field, soccer, and basketball. But it's about more than the competition.
They bring together youth with and without intellectual disabilities, competing on the same team in unified sport. They show us what schools, community, and society can be when everyone feels welcomed, valued, and included.
They enjoyed a small concert, and the joy was evident.
Cheering each other on and making memories together.
And then for the most special moment, the torch arrived at Thompson Arena.
Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
Chief Tai Trong and a student from Beale helped carry the torch to the stage where they lit the cauldron.
I still need the stars to guide me.
The games were underway.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, an early morning fireball, a tiny object entering Earth's atmosphere, lighting up the sky across southern Ontario. Canada's main stock index finished lower today, weighed down by losses in the basic materials sector. The TSX dropped almost 250 points in New York. The Dow rose 182, the Nasdaq up 18. Canadian dollar lost 1/10 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold fell more than $50 an ounce. Oil was down more than $5 a barrel. The Prime Minister announced negotiations are underway to purchase a cutting-edge aerial surveillance system from Sweden. As Judy Trin reports, this deal would signal a further shift for the federal government away from buying American.
A packed room at a defense conference, listening to the Prime Minister's mantra.
Build, partner, buy. We are focused first on building in Canada.
Exemplified by an investment in a joint Swedish-Canadian venture.
I'm pleased to announce that Canada has entered into negotiations to procure Saab's airborne early warning and control aircraft.
Saab's Global Eye surveillance system is built on the platform of Bombardier's corporate jet. The company has at least 40 aircraft in its pipeline to be sold to Canada and other allies. 3,000 jobs could be created. Economic spin-offs are in the tens of billions of dollars.
What this will do is create a new layer of job opportunities in terms of the modifications of the aircraft. So what Bombardier is doing now is getting actively involved in the discussions to create this secondary production.
Saab beat out an American competitor for its surveillance aircraft, momentum that it hopes could lift its chances of convincing Canada to purchase its Gripen fighter jet instead of the US-made F-35. There are lineups to get into its cockpit.
We can show now as a company and as a country how closely we want to work with Canada. And if I can show how I can create an industrial collaboration and a hub on this type of capability in Canada.
At the Lockheed Martin booth, the F-35 simulator and its test pilot attracts interest but not buzz. Amid U.S. trade tensions, moving forward with procuring fighter jets has been paused for more than a year, worrying Canadian suppliers who have much to lose if the F-35 isn't selected.
Direct jobs, but also strengthening the company's programs and capabilities.
Wrapping up the negotiations for these surveillance planes will likely take a few more months. As for a decision on the fighter jets, the federal government is still refusing to say when. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. Quiet weather in the forecast. High pressure in play. Clear overnight. Comfortable temperature as we head into your Thursday. Lots of sunshine. It'll be a gorgeous day. The forecast high as we head into the afternoon at 22. You'll start your morning with sunshine, 11 to 13 degrees. Thanks, Harry. This is his penny girl. If you're heading out in the morning for a walk, it looks like it's going to be a good one. Stay with us. Your local weather is next.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now. And as far as putting together a forecast goes, this sounds like it's been pretty straightforward today for you.
It's been very quiet. Yes, almost having a nap quiet. Yeah, conditions across our
Uneventful.
region. Uneventful, yes. Lots of sunshine, beautiful. Skies will be clear, Carlyle overnight. And today we hit 25 degrees, so that is nice for this time of year. The humidity low. We had the cold front come through. That brought a bit of cloud cover, but we didn't see a whole lot in the way of any moisture with that front. It looked like it was trying to rain a little bit in and around Strathroy, but most of that evaporating before it hit the ground. So yes, we do have some nice dry air in the lower levels. 25 again and 15 for the high and low. Satellite radar. So there's the front. What it did was it brought a shift in our winds. So yesterday we had a southerly flow. Today the winds back to the north. Good news, blocking pattern is holding and we're on the good side of this. Where they're not on the good side and where they're dealing with some extreme heat and humidity is in through the southern parts of the prairies where temperatures are 30+ degrees and they've been breaking records. That heat continues to build, but for us what's happening is the jet stream is riding high and then it drops down, but it's just east of us. So we're under the influence of the high pressure and not under the influence of the cool jet. So what's happening is temperatures are quite moderate and comfortable. Now that upper air pattern is a bit blocked up, so it's very slow moving, so we have much of the same weather for days. So we are expecting a nice mix of sun and cloud to mainly sunny with daytime highs anywhere from 20 to 22 degrees. That is perfect weather. This time of year, we wait for this weather. It's here. Get out, enjoy it. It's beautiful. As we go out 48 hours, so you can see where the jet stream drops down and where that cloud deck is with some rainfall off to the east. So that upper air pattern continuing to shift eastward, so eventually rolling over the upper Great Lakes. But in terms of what we're looking at right now, just gorgeous conditions. Overnight in London, 10 degrees, Midwestern Ontario, 8 to 9, but quiet, clear. Waking up to sunshine for your Thursday, high of 22 and continuing light wind out of the northwest in the afternoon. Friday, sunshine and 22. It'll be a cooler start on Friday morning. Overnight low drops down to 6 degrees, so heading out the door, it'll be cool but beautiful in the afternoon. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud. At this point, no rain in the forecast, dry conditions expected. Midwestern Ontario, pretty much the same pattern for you. Lots of sunshine, dry, beautiful, comfortable, low humidity, and calm. 19 to 22 degrees over the next couple of days. The weekend featuring sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud. We'll hit a high of 19 both Saturday and Sunday. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. 4 former Huron County High School students have launched a new program giving back to kids, hoping to help cover the rising cost of playing sports. With more on their all-access athletics initiative, here's Scott Miller.
Braden Radford and Owen Taylor have spent the month of May giving away running shoes to high school students across Huron County.
It's put a lot of smiles on kids' faces, and it's been really, really rewarding.
It wasn't that long ago that Radford and Taylor were in high school themselves, so they know the value of a free pair of shoes, which is really just the first of many ideas they have to try and help families keep their kids in sports in Huron and Perth County.
When you add it up over the time, it's a lot of gas money, wear and tear, and just everything kind of adds up. So we're trying to help fund, kind of get those kids back in by whatever means we need. So like registration, equipment, kind of if they need help with paying for certain things, they can come to us and kind of get that little boost.
Radford Taylor and 2 other high school friends have started All Access Athletics last year. The goal is simple, to try and keep sports as affordable as possible for kids in Huron and Perth counties.
A lot of local minor sports organizations are kind of slowly disappearing. You're seeing a lot of amalgamation. Families from Mitchell have to drive 30, 45 minutes. Families from Clinton have to drive 30, 45 minutes to practice on a regular basis, or they're driving 2 hours for games. And that's just
unreasonable for a lot of families. So if we can provide those kids the opportunity to continue doing those things as the landscape of minor sports changes, then that's what we want to do.
Giving away 120 pairs of shoes donated by New Balance and the Run Parlor is their first big project, but All Access has a 5K run planned and a ball hockey tournament and a used equipment drive in the works. It's all to help give kids who love sports but maybe can't afford it the ability to keep doing what they love.
All four of us did sports growing up, saw the impact and how good it was for us positively. And we kind of see how with the landscape of minor sports changing, how there kind of is a few kids maybe not taking that leap into sports off the start or later on in years just because of financial stress.
We just want to be able to support as many kids as we can. Being active in sports that's kind of our main focus.
In Clinton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a fireball lighting up the sky early this morning. There were reported sightings from all over Ontario as well as parts of the U.S. captured on many doorbell and dash cameras. With more, here's Sean Leathong.
A flash in the early morning sky, a meteor entering Earth's atmosphere seen in Buffalo and as far away as this one in Queensville.
Whoa, what the?
I was coming out of Tim Hortons grabbing a coffee after the gym and seen a big flash of light.
Happening around 10 after 5 this morning, Brian Follow caught the flash on his dash cam in Stouffville.
It was cloudy in the morning, so you seen it come through the sky a little bit. And then it came down, got home, decided to check my dash cam, and I seen the meteor streaking through the sky.
According to astronomer Peter Brown at the University of Western Ontario, the actual location of the meteor was hundreds of kilometers away.
Started over Lake Erie and ended in upper New York State. It was caused by an object about the size of between a softball and a basketball that hit the atmosphere moving about 50 times the speed of sound.
Best seen in western New York, Brown says the bright flash is the object breaking apart in Earth's atmosphere, with nothing likely hitting the ground.
The pressure of the atmosphere causes it to start breaking up, and at some point that pressure just exceeds the strength of the object, and it just comes apart catastrophically, and it produces a bright flash.
Brown says events like this are common, but it's a bit unusual for an object to get this low in our atmosphere, creating a viewing radius extending 400 to 500 kilometers.
It's mind-boggling to see something how science can be so huge, right? It's all around us.
And in a flash, it's gone. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.